Hey guys, I'm Dr. Jyoti Patel. Today we're talking about food cravings. So if you want to find out what causes food cravings, stick around. So today we're going to talk about the basics of food craving. I'm a board certified pediatrician, internist, and integrative practitioner. If you have any specific medical concerns such as thirst or salt cravings or pica, you want to seek counsel with your doctor because you may have diabetes or adrenal issues or deficiencies in minerals such as zinc and iron. Today we're talking about emotional food cravings. So to understand food cravings better, let's talk about what's going on in your brain. So you have two major centers, the pleasure center and the reward center. These two work together with your memory centers to help with food cravings. When you are seeking pleasure, meaning you're down, you're depressed, you're sad, or you're around your loved ones and you're having a happy occasion, seeking pleasure is the way we feel good. When you eat something very pleasurable, such as, let's say, chocolate, it ignites those receptors in the pleasure center of your brain, releasing endorphins and opioids and serotonin and making you feel happy. That emotion gets etched into your memory center. Now you remember what that made you feel like. In the future, if you're down, if you're feeling depressed, your memory center is going to send you out to look for that food. So that reward pathway, that dopamine pathway, sends you out looking for that substance or that activity that caused pleasure. When you obtain that food, it again ignites the pleasure center of your brain, causing that feedback loop so that you remember how good that made you feel. That's completely normal, guys. We need that pleasure and reward center to keep us alive and viable. Now, what happens when it breaks down? We're going to talk about the three major ways this system breaks down. And when you no longer are just seeking food for pleasure and you eat past the point of hunger. So it's not just one slice of pizza or not just one donut, but you consume the whole carton or the whole bag or the whole box. It's not just one glass of wine, it's several glasses of wine. It's not just 1 hour at the gambling place, it's hours in the casino. This is when the system goes down. Three ways. Number one, dopamine deficiency. Some of us are born with genetic problems that can cause our dopamine centers not to be as robust. We have less receptors, and so we need more of that substance to give us the same high. We also find ourselves craving more food. It's not even about consuming it, it's about just receiving it. It's about seeking it. It's about finding it with any means all the time. Our brain sometimes can get consumed with the thoughts of obtaining that food. Let's just call it something like sugar. We find ourselves craving sugar, seeking sugar, thinking about sugar all the time. And that dopamine deficiency is the reason why. Second is sometimes when we were in the womb, if our mom had overconsumed substances or had stimulated the dopamine centers of our brain, we get a downregulation of dopamine, so it doesn't work as well in our brains. So again, we need more of that substance to keep it going. Lastly, if as a child or as an adult we suffered any type of trauma, abuse, neglect, loss, loneliness, and we sought pleasure over and over and over again through means of sugar, carbohydrates, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, any of those substances, we actually downregulate the dopamine receptors in our brain, again causing this vicious cycle of constant craving and the satiation of an area that we can never get to. Number two, hormones. Hormones can also cause dysregulation of appetite. Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, these hormones help us stay happy and increase our serotonin levels. But when we go through menopause or andropause, we actually have low levels of serotonin, and that can also cause us to then seek and crave substances that increase our endogenous opioids, increase our endogenous endorphins, and help increase our serotonin levels. Hormones such as thyroid can cause us fatigue, and when we feel tired, we might seek sugar or carbs to increase our energy states. So hormone deficiencies can be a culprit. There are two appetite regulating hormones that go awry when we gain too much weight. So when we have a large amount of abdominal fat from overconsumption, these two hormones go awry. First is ghrelin. Ghrelin makes us hungry, and we increase our ghrelin levels so high that we're hungry all the time when we overconsume. Second is leptin. Leptin is made by our fat cells, and it tells our brain that we're full. It's that stop eating hormone. But unfortunately, when we've increased our abdominal fat or we've overconsumed for a very long period of time, that leptin becomes resistant. The brain no longer hears that stop eating hormone signal anymore. So hormones can play a big role. Number 3, your microbiome. This is the bacteria in your gut that helps us with regulation of digestion and hormones and mood. 90% of your happy hormone serotonin is made in the gut with the microbiome. 50% of dopamine, we just talked about that reward hormone, is made in the gut. And so if you have bad bacteria in your colon, if you have an overgrowth of yeast, if you haven't really taken good care of your gut, that can cause a dysregulation in appetite. It can cause you to crave sugar and carbohydrates. It can cause you to overeat and overconsume and still feel deficient, also nutritionally deficient, vitamin deficient. And if you're not getting the minerals and the nutrients and the vitamins that your body needs, your brain is going to send you out to seek more and more food. If all you consume is empty calories, then unfortunately the search continues and the brain continues to send you out for food. So a dysbiotic colon, or bacteria that's not healthy in the colon, can actually lead to appetite dysregulation, can increase cravings. So we talked about the 3 reasons, major reasons why people have problems with food and appetite. First is dopamine deficiency, resistance to dopamine in the brain, increasing cravings. Number 2 is hormonal disruptions that can cause low energy and low mood states, can increase our need for more food. And third is an unhealthy colon and poor microbiome that also causes food cravings. So watch for my next video for how to solve these issues. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment if this helps you in any way. Share with anyone who can benefit. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Till next time.